we are getting the return of an old WWE pay-per-view, and it makes me want them to bring back more. I want to see NXT TakeOver Bad Blood, Capital Punishment, Cyber Sunday. I want to see all of these old all of these old WWE pay-per-views made into takeovers at some point. I would love to see an NXT TakeOver Cyber Sunday. That would be incredible.
Yeah,
that'd be amazing. I'd buy the network back if that came on.
It'd be fine.
There you go. Exactly. But what I am talking about is the Great American Bash. WWE have rebranded an NXT 2-week show to Fyter Fest, because there's no Fyter Fest this year. Technically, it's 2 AEW episodes week after week. WWE doing the same with the Great American Bash. But the main event of the Great American Bash is at risk, as Joe said. We broke the news saying that Keith Lee was no longer in Florida. And he's in the main event. He is going up against Adam Cole for both the Universal, both the North American and NXT Championship, which is going to be interesting. But the AEW card is shaping up to be pretty tasty. The Fyter Fest card itself looks good. I'm pretty hyped up for the shows. I'm just going to grab up the card. I'm going to be very unprofessional and go onto Wikipedia, because we all know Wikipedia is the king of all websites. I'm so professional, I know. Right. So night one, we have got ourselves Omega and Paige versus Best Friends, which is going to be pretty damn good. Cody versus Hager for the TNT Championship. Hikaru Shida versus Penelope Ford for the Women's World Championship. Jurassic Express, all three of no, sorry, it's just two of them. With Marco Stunt. No, it's not. It's Marco. Second is all three of them, I believe.
Wait, no, sorry, I'm thinking of the wrong match.
You are thinking of the wrong match. They're going, it's Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus against MJF and Wardlow. Obviously, they're two separate feuds to put together because associations. And then we've got Private Party versus Santana and Ortiz. That's the first week. Second week, we've got Cage versus Moxley for the AEW World title. Chris Jericho versus Freshly Squeezed, Orange Cassidy. Lance Archer versus Joey Janela, which is a match that was just made because Archer decided to attack. Yeah, Nyla Rose versus to be announced. Colt Cabana and the Dark Order, which is Brody Lee and Stu Grayson, so we don't get any Evil Uno. They're going up against all three members of SoCal Uncensored. And then we've got FTR and the Young Bucks teaming up to take on the Butcher and the Blade and the Lucha Brothers, who return on AEW TV this week. Obviously, with WWE's issues with coronavirus, that is going to affect AEW because there is crossover. Renee Young has COVID. Who is she married to? AEW World Champion Jon Moxley, who was actually already told Tony Khan he's come into contact with someone with COVID. I don't think he specifically said it was Renee, but he's staying away from tapings. QT Marshall and all of his students as well are staying away because they've come into contact with it. So, yeah.
I mean, like, Moxley lives with Renee, so you'd have to imagine the chances are it probably was her. Just like WWE being irresponsible, and they're being so irresponsible, it's somehow affecting AEW shows.
Would you put past Vince to be like, Renee, go get coronavirus, it will stop AEW, we can win?
I bet that conversation happened.
You guys your Vince impression again.
Yes, I do.
Yep, no.
It's like, do you know what
AEW... Do I look like best friends? I do not give the people what they want. Especially if you're involved in the people, George.
Fair point. On discussion of AEW at the moment, do any of you watch Being the Elite?
I do.
They weren't going to put this week's one out, obviously, with what's going on in the wrestling world, but they did put it out. And I have to say, Orange Cassidy's voice does not suit him. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. There's a skit where they're trying to figure out how. There's a skit where their best friends are trying to figure out how to get themselves a bit on the show, and they basically say they're going to attack Cutler, and then like a movie, and then Orange Cassidy starts talking about Fast and Furious.
Yeah, because that's Orange Cassidy's best favorite movie.
Yeah, and Orange Cassidy is a ladies' man. If anyone saw AEW Dark this week, and I only watched it. I only watched that one episode, that one match, purely for Orange Cassidy.
Did they finally bring Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander onto?
No, it was Orange Cassidy versus the librarian Peter Avalon. Obviously, Peter's accompanied by Leva Bates. And at one point, Orange Cassidy did the Shawn Michaels from Survivor Series 2006. He slid out the ring and just started flirting with Leva. Leva was loving life and then told Peter Avalon to stop hurting him. So Freshly Squeezed is just that. He's just that good.
Speaking of Orange Cassidy talking, has anyone seen him on? So like Brandy's got
the shot of Brandy. I haven't watched it.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's so funny.
It's very, very good.
It is well worth
it. Orange chicken, I believe.
It's just AEW putting out some top class content. Like they really know how to put out wrestling content in 2020. Just go on YouTube and do cooking shows. Because the millennials like cooking shows. Put people on it. We're good.
Do you know it is good in that so you can get by just watching.
I'm this close to starting my own.
What's that?
Yeah, do you want to go cooking channel in his toilet?
And I was just going to say, like AEW, the way like their programming structure is really good for fans in that if you want to just watch Dynamite, you can get by just watching Dynamite. But then if you want to watch Dark, you know, that can add to it, but like it doesn't take away from not watching it. And then if you want to watch more stuff again, there's Being the Elite, and then there's like the Road to
the Road to, and then you've got the Taz one as well, which is like his report. I can't think of what it's called. It's like his report on matches.
Anyway, Open Radio.
Yeah, basically they're just smashing it out the park. But are WWE being petty by putting on Great American Bash at the same time? I mean, they do it. I think they've matched everything that AEW do.
I mean, yeah, they are.
WWE being petty?
Never.
When does that ever happen?
No.
No.
What I will say though is, despite WWE doing it at the same time, they have a lot more reach because the network is more easily accessible and cheaper than Fight TV, or however people, especially in the UK, for us to watch AEW is really hard. Like you have to watch ITV4 on a Friday, and that's the highlights of the Wednesday show. What's a myth?
Watching ITV4 on a Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, who watches ITV4 ever?
Well, just going back to something I think we discussed on the last episode, AEW are currently down, I think it's like 32-2 in the ITV4 wars against Minder.
Well, I mean, AEW lost the viewer war this week against NXT. I think AEW had 630,000 and NXT had over 700.
I will never let this go. Cody. No, that's not even.
It's too low.
Oh, jeez.
There you go, that's perfect. Like that, because it's at a slight angle. You look good.
There we go. Cody, right, said that the TV deal that AEW had for the UK shat all over of WWE.
It doesn't.
And look at them now. Look at them now.
I think I've only ever seen one AEW show on ITV, and that was the first ever AEW pay-per-view buy-in. And then I tried to buy it on ITV box office. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, I had that exact same thing. So,
just the box office doesn't exist.
I spent that whole evening on Twitter with people just like, yeah, it's not working for me either. Like, what is happening?